Good morning, everybody. It was really one of those weekends. It was a little bit of a challenge for me, and I'm going to admit it right here and now. But first, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. It is Monday, August 5th, 2019, and today is Lady Boomer's birthday. So, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. If y'all want to say happy birthday to Lady Boomer, how would you do that? I don't know. Maybe you could send it to my email if you want to. That's pdognight@gmail.com. You could do that. I'm not sure how else. Or you could, you know what? Or you could do happy birthday to her on Twitter. In fact, let me see. I follow her on Twitter. I think I follow my wife on Twitter. Let's see. Is my wife even on Twitter? I think she is. Huh. I never even thought of that. She never does anything on Twitter. She doesn't use Twitter. But I wonder if she does it to Laura L. Can you believe this? I don't even know. No, she's not there. Well, I'll tell you what. Just send me an email if you or send it by. You can send a happy birthday to Lady Boomer via my Twitter @PDogKnight. I will make sure that she sees it. I don't know how that works. Anyway, so I am here. I got my reparation coffee ready, and we're gonna get going. Hey, here's the thing today. Obviously, the biggest news from the weekend related to the shootings in El Paso and in Ohio. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that except for whatever's in Twitter trends today. Actually, I've been Maddie MWM Media. If you want to click on her channel, she's got all kinds of stuff to talk about that, and I think she'll be far more thorough than I am. I basically didn't spend a lot of time talking about it. I read a lot of tweets, read as much as I could about it, but my frustrations over the weekend with that story was everybody spent their time at first looking to figure out how they could point fingers, who they could blame for it, and not thinking about the tragedy itself. The people who did it, they were too busy. Too many people were too busy. Oh, this is Donald Trump's fault. And the problem is too, every time, I don't know, I have this in my hand. Every time that one of these things happen, and I know that I do it too, the first thing I do is try to figure out, okay, what's this guy's political ideology, or what's this guy's social ideology, or whatever. And I catch myself doing that, and I just get pissed at myself. But and also I get tired. The media it's just so bad. And mass shooting Twitter sucks. The media sucks. And people suck. Everybody sucks when these things happen. There are victims. There's victim families. One of the most poignant things that I saw on Twitter this weekend, as all this shit is going around, is I think the last thing the family of a shooting victim really cares about is some woke jackass in Connecticut arguing with some, gun enthusiast in Missouri over, shit that has nothing to do with the person that their loved one they lost. And so it's greatly, greatly frustrating to me. I guess it doesn't help either is, over the weekend, well, we've known it for a while, but right now my father-in-law's health is failing. And so we're in the process of planning one last family get-together because we know that he's not going to be with us for a whole lot longer. And so that compounded the emotions and things that we're going through over the weekend. Although this is something we have known in our family for quite a while. But now we're at a point where we need to make sure that we get other family together before that happens. His health has been failing for a long time. And so we are having one last get together next weekend. So that compounded my frustration with the idiocy all over the internet and in the media this weekend. So real quick, let's say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Johnny Hellcat, who was first. You get the bell, sir. Good morning, Maddie, Tyler F, Jason Byrne, Richo, MC. Hem time. Marsupial Gamer, how you doing? And that's it so far. There's probably more people. I know there's people lurking. Lurkers, you don't have to show yourself unless you absolutely want to, or if you have something profound to say. So don't feel bad if you're just lurking. I'm cool with that. All right. So let's get into some news. There's only 11 people here. That might be everybody for now. But people kind of trickle in and out. You know what I forgot to do? I didn't tweet out the stream today. Tell you what, do me a favor. Rather than me do it, can y'all do me a favor? Hit the share button now. And if anyone wants to make that go to Twitter, that would be fantastic because then I can retweet it myself also. But if you also hit that share button, I think you get choices of Facebook, Tumblr, Reddit. There's a whole bunch of choices. LinkedIn. I don't know why. Does anyone use LinkedIn as a social media site? I have no idea. I've never thought of putting my streams on my LinkedIn account. I don't even know what's on my LinkedIn account. I've had it for like 6-7 years and I've never used it. So anyway, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Done and done. That, in fact, here we go. I hope did you tag me on it? Or are you, well, I do follow you. I should probably be able to find it. Let me go. Well, but it may not be up there yet. It takes a few seconds for that stuff to work. Oh, there we go. Here, I'm going to retweet Johnny Hellcats because that makes it much more easy for me. Now, it's weird, though. My avatar didn't come up on here. Oh, because it's live. I think maybe it's because it's live. I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I appreciate that. All right, so let's get into some stories because I bookmarked a whole bunch of stories today. And I like I said, I'm skipping any of the mass shooting stories. Again, if you want to talk about, hear those, Maddie, put in the chat what time you are going on today, and or sometime put a link in the chat because we'll make sure everyone gets over there. But that'll be easier if you do it than me. All right. Good morning, Opinionated Scotsman. Nice to have you back. I haven't seen you for a while. And D.I. Freighter, how you doing? Welcome back. One of our new people who come to the chat on a fairly regular basis. So we like that. All right, let's get into it. I do have, and I saved a feel good story for last because I just need a happy story, to be honest with you. I just do. So big news now. If you weren't paying attention to anything else in the world, you probably wouldn't know some of the things that are happening. And this is this is getting contentious. Apparently, Iran over the weekend seizes another oil tanker. It's the third as feud with U.S. continues. Now, I think the other two were British tankers, but Iran seized a vessel it accused of smuggling fuel in the Persian Gulf. The third time the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps detained a ship in the waterway in recent weeks as the stalemate between the Islamic Republic and the U.S. continues. The Iranian forces intercepted the ship Wednesday near Farsi Island, which is used by the Revolutionary Guard as a naval base, state media reported Sunday. The IRGC naval forces have seized a foreign oil tanker in the Persian Gulf that was smuggling fuel for some Arab countries, said the paramilitary forces commander Ramazan Zahari, according to state-run media. The Iraqi ship was carrying about 185,000 gallons of fuel, the report said, but did not provide additional details or the identity of or identify the nationality of the crew. So now I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but they've already seized the British ship. I think there's let's see, when it captured the British ship, they said it was in retaliation for it stopping an Iranian oil tankers in the waters off of Gibraltar that it said was smuggling oil to Syria early in July. Washington and Tehran have been locked in a standoff since President Trump withdrew the U.S. from the 2015 nuclear deal and reimposed sanctions against Iran designed to force it back to the negotiating table. And then Iran has been pressuring the remaining countries in the pact, Britain, France, Germany, and the European Union, China, and Russia to abide by the terms of the deal and help ease the U.S. sanctions. So, it's all about the feud with the U.S., but it's something that, it's something we need to pay attention to. And unfortunately, this weekend, the entire oxygen in the Western Hemisphere was sucked up by two shootings in the United States. Highly, highly politicized shit. So anyway, something to keep track of. Also, this weekend, Donald Trump told us that he wants to pull U.S. troops out of Afghanistan by the 2020 election. NBC News is reporting that Donald Trump has told White House aides that he wants to pull all U.S. troops out of Afghanistan by the 2020 elections. Current negotiations with the Taliban may make that possible. The two sides appear to be inching closer to a political deal that would include a total withdrawal of all U.S. forces. Now that would be fantastic. It's something that. Hello, Kitty Stalker. I interrupt my sentence to say hello. That's something that, I don't think people who supported Trump realize, and even people like me who voted for Iraq, not Iraq, knew about Trump. Trump is not into the interventionist stuff, and I know that part of his plan was he wanted to get out of places where we just don't need to be anymore. Anyway, but the NBC report alludes to some serious friction between the State Department and the Pentagon over the timing of the withdrawal. It's tense, one former official briefed on the debate. Last December, Trump threatened not only to immediately withdraw all troops from Afghanistan, but also shut down the U.S. Embassy in Kabul, complaining to aides that it is too large and expensive. According to officials, the president's threat to close the U.S. Embassy, which has not been previously reported, so alarmed administration and military officials that they quickly offered him a plan to move up the timing of efforts to scale back the size of the embassy staff, officials said. He was fed up with hearing that the U.S. was not winning there, one former U.S. defense official said. It was no secret he wanted out, but decided to pull out of the embassy too was a shock. But Trump argued that without a military presence, U.S. embassy staff could be in danger, so it should be closed, the official said. He also said it was time for the U.S. to get out of the war there, otherwise it could bankrupt the U.S. like it did Russia in the 1980s, two former defense officials said. So, now, this is an interesting statement. It's no secret to anyone who follows the news that the Taliban are winning the war in Afghanistan. Despite almost 2 decades of training, the Afghan army is nowhere near able to adequately defend the country. The map paints a grim picture of the military situation. Because right now I think we have about 10,000 troops there, and And, in a theory, they're an advisory force. But you know what? It's just a point where, I don't know. This is me, the anti-war right, who thinks our interventionist strategies probably haven't been the greatest things. I think our purpose to go in Afghanistan was to get Mr. Osama bin Laden, and that was accomplished. And our goal probably should have been to get out of there the entire time. But anyway, the push-pull between the Departments of State and Defense on this issue is one of the more intense disagreements in recent years. More from NBC News. A person familiar with the internal debate said Pompeo has backed a full withdrawal from Afghanistan, while the National Security Advisor John Bolton has sided with the military in supporting keeping a small troop present there. Imagine that! John Bolton wants American troops in another country. Shocker! The National Security Council declined to comment on the record. There is no deadline for the American mission in Afghanistan, a senior administration official said in a statement. Wait a minute! We've been there almost 20 freaking years. No shit, there's no deadline. How about we make one now? You know what? Oh my God. Can we find a way to leave that country and anywhere else we don't need to be? It could save us a few bucks. Come on, man. No deadline for the American mission in Afghanistan. The president has been clear that as we make progress on the peace process, we will begin to scale back our troop presence. Well, is it because we can't the Afghan security forces are just, is it they are that inept? How is it that the Taliban can train their forces, but we can't train the other they're all Afghanis. Come on, people. Anyway, the Taliban may make this debate moot. July saw the highest number of civilian casualties in Afghanistan since 2017. It may be only a matter of time before the Afghan government will be forced to sue for peace under less than ideal circumstances. Sue for peace? In what court? Just figure it out and let's get the hell out of Dodge. I'm sorry. That's just me. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Next story. Mission accomplished. ASC. Oh, thank God. Here, let me fix this screen here. ASCP Rocky. Why is my so bad here? Not here. Let's open. Nope. That's not. What the hell's going on? Oh, I pushed the wrong button. I see what happened there. ASCP Rocky is returning to the States. He's awaiting a verdict on assault case on August 14th. So Sweden is basically allowing the young man to at least be able to come back to the state while he awaits his verdict on the assault case that he had. Imprisoned rapper ASAP Rocky will temporarily return home to the United States while waiting the outcome of his court case in Sweden later this month. The Swedish court ruled that Rocky and two other suspects are freed from detention until August 14th, when their case's verdict is expected, according to the Associated Press. Rocky, whose real name is Rakim Myers, was arrested on assault charges after getting into a fight on the streets of Stockholm on June 30th. His lawyer argued that it was self-defense in court. The case's prosecutor argued that despite the claims of self-defense, the events in question constitute a crime despite claims of self-defense and provocation. Well, if you watch the video, MC would be a great to chat about Afghanistan. Okay. History tells us how to do it, but civilians find it too horrible to contemplate. Maybe. Yeah, that might be. Okay, MC, I might need your expertise on that when we get back into that. So, back to Rocky. Yeah, so the dude, who knows if President Trump had anything to do with it. I know President Trump tried to talked to the Swedish through the State Department, talked to the Swedish government to see what they could do. And I got to assume that the reason they're allowing him to come back to the States while awaiting awaiting a verdict has something to do with that effort. Okay. But late last month, President Donald Trump spoke out in support of the rapper at the behest of First Lady Melania Trump, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West. Political reported. Give ASP Rocky his freedom. We do so much for Sweden, but it doesn't seem to work the other way around. Sweden should focus on its real crime problem, he wrote on Twitter with the hashtag Free Rocky. So, and then he celebrated by tweeting that ASAP Rocky released from prison and is on his way home to the United States from Sweden. It was a rocky week. Get home ASAP. ASAP. So Donald Trump with a little clever pun mastery there. Frankly, I don't care. The videos, I've never heard any of this music produced by this young man. I know my son knows who he is, whatever. But the fact that the President of the United States is talking about a popular rapper by name and trying to help him out, I guess that's cool. I don't know. Anyway, so much for Rocky. All right, moving on. Hey, we've been talking a lot about Baltimore lately, and I thought this was fascinating. Taxpayers pay $2 billion to fund 30,000 public employees in Baltimore, an audit shows. The taxpayers have paid nearly $2 billion in federal aid to fund 30,000 public employees in Baltimore at local and federal levels. An audit shows Baltimore reportedly has 13,522 employees with a combined payroll that exceeds $821 million annually. The mayor's office paid $7 million in 2018 for their salaries and 111 employees. Of 111 employees, and $1 million in public relations fees, according to an investigation auditors at OpenTheBooks.com conducted. We found the city drowning in taxpayer dollars. The Open Book CEO Andrew Andruszewski, that sounds about right, wrote in an editorial published in Forbes Wednesday. Baltimore schools pay another 10,770 employees with a combined payroll of $619.3 million, $79.1 million spent outside the classroom, $11.4 million spent on psychologists, $16.4 million spent on social workers, $7.4 million spent on counselors, $2.7 million spent on bus drivers, and $41.2 million spent on principals and assistant principals, according to the Watchdog Group. Based on our audit, one fact seems clear, Andruszewski wrote. If more money for public employees was the answer, Baltimore's challenges would have been solved long ago. So a lot of this is because they get grants and direct payment that was given to Baltimore city agencies, nonprofit organizations, corporations, and colleges from fiscal year 2015 to fiscal year 2018. Baltimore has received a lot of federal money over the last 5 years. The problem in Baltimore is not lack of money, it's lack of leadership. David Williams of the Taxpayer Protection Alliance told Fox Baltimore. There's a lot of money rolling into Baltimore. Again, $1.1 billion towards the end of the Obama administration. I know in 2017, 2018, the federal government has put at least $16 billion into Baltimore. And now, curious where it's going. Let's see. Here it is. Democratic Maryland Representative Elijah Cummings' district received more than $9 billion in 2018 and more than $15 billion total between 2018 and 2019, according to the outlet. President Trump came under fire last week, accusing Cummings of not taking care of his district and calling Baltimore the worst run and most dangerous in anywhere in America. Yeah, we're all familiar with that. So anyway, yeah, we somebody's got to figure out where all that money in Baltimore is going. It's who knows? The thing is, I have a feeling that a lot of it is going to the already nice places in Baltimore, like waterfront redevelopment, and to the universities in the town, and making some nice things nicer rather than helping the people that it was probably meant for. So I don't know. It's crazy. They got to figure that shit out. All right, moving on. Next, Trump administration. Oh, the jobs report. Okay, now this one I have to actually move. Here, let me fix this one because I think you need to see it a little better. So I'll make it so you can see what I'm reading here. All right, here we go. Trump administration reports another strong monthly jobs report in July. It's you know what? That's one area that he is winning, and that's all this BS that's going around. It's hard to run against a great economy, and but boy, they are pulling out all the stops to just smear the president as much as they can. And now, me, I'd say the president does put a lot of this on himself, and also the fact that he's not the most careful with his words, but that is the charm of President Trump in some ways, that he's brutally honest, and maybe he speaks his mind a little too much on the Twitters. Like I said, sometimes I wish they'd take his iPhone away, but sometimes it's refreshing to see someone fight back when they're being, constantly chopped at by everybody. So I don't know. That's there you go. Trump administration reports another strong monthly jobs report in July. They'll say Obama again, despite the fact that Obama said it'd be impossible. Ain't that right, Maniac Man? Oh, by the way, good morning, Maniac Man. Good morning, Diesel Dave. I think that's all who's showed up that's new. All right. The Trump Trump administration once again has some good economic news to close out the work week with the latest release of the Bureau of Labor Statistics the July jobs report on Friday. So this was the great Friday's news dump. Here are the highlights of Friday's numbers. There were 157,288,000 people employed in July, which marks an increase of 283,000 jobs from the number in June. The July employment number is also a 1,324,000 increase from the same month in 2018. So over 1 million more jobs than a year ago. The unemployment rate is held steady at 3.7%. The unemployment rate, I still am wary about how they count that number. The job participation rate is much more interesting to me, and the number of people working is much more interesting to me because they changed how they do the unemployment rate during the Obama administration to make it look better than it was. But apples to apples, bam. All right, the numbers of people not participating in the workforce. Oh, what was that? Good God. The number of people not participating in the workforce also dropped considerably from June to July, dropping 183,000 from 96 million and some change to 95. It dropped 183,000 from that. Anyway. And the number of people unemployed for 27 weeks or more declined by 248,000, according to a BLS statement, Bureau of Labor Statistics. The number of involuntary part-time workers, people who work part-time despite wanting full-time employment, has also dropped over the past 12 months by $604,000. Who was it that was saying that Oh, the unemployment numbers are because people are working 2 jobs. Yeah, 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 yeah. First of all, that was stupid. Oh, it was AOC. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez was the one who said that, and that was the dumbest thing for someone who supposedly has a degree in economics. But anyway, the Bureau of Labor Statistics also reported Friday that black unemployment is now at its highest point since the Bureau started keeping records on the data in 1972 at 19,481,000. That's 282,000 higher than June's number of 19,199,000, whatever. So black employment's up almost 300,000 in the last month. Good Lord. July's employment situation demonstrates the steady and consistent growth of the American economy, said Acting Labor Secretary Patrick Pizzella. With Labor Day a month away, we have not seen an unemployment rate this low on a Labor Day since 1952. So the Republicans are happy and the Democrats aren't talking about it. In fact, it's funny. I mean, in these Democratic debates, you would think by the way they talk about the economy that we're in the middle of a Great Depression or something. By the way, also, it's not on this here, but real wages have been going up at an incredible pace during this time period also, which is something that everyone says, oh, well, everyone's a job and no one's making more money. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The economy is doing great for people, and people are working. 282,000 black people who weren't employed are employed now. That's a lot of, and I don't, just because that's the number they put here. So, that's fantastic. Now so there's an article here that's also emphasized that black employment at a record high. Basically the same article. I pulled them both up. I didn't realize the other one was within the other. But again, it's the lowest percentages of unemployment since data was being collected since in 1972 as far as employment rates by race. The other thing too, let's see. Black unemployment rate, seasonally adjusted, 16 years and over in previous months. Let's see. It's not in this number, but black youth employment is lowest rate it's been. Unemployment for Asians increased to 2.8% in July. The jobless rate for adult men, 3.4%. Adult women, 3.4%. Teenagers, 12.8%. Whites, 3.3%. Blacks, 6.0%. And Hispanics, 4.5%. All showed little change over the last month. But they're all at record lows right now. So it is pretty good news. It's great news for people who have jobs now that didn't have them, at the beginning of the year. Steadily growing. Good morning, Cynical Lindsay. How you doing? I see you popped into the chat. All right. Okay. Now this article almost put me on the floor because it's from the Huffington Post. Although the Huffington Post is actually a fairly good news source. Even though they have a very, very leftward slant, they do serious reporting. They're not. They're totally leftist, but they're not terrible. You just got to understand what you're reading. Here's an interesting one. You can be anti-Trump without slut shaming Melania. Now it's fascinating. Now I've read this article, and you're going to notice you're probably going to notice what I notice right off the bat. Here, let me adjust this. All right. Melania Trump is the wife of GOP President. Okay, this is back. Oh, this is what? Oh, this is from 2016. How did this get in here? Oh, well, anyway, it was updated October 8th, 2016. I thought this was a new article. Someone sent me this. I thought it was new. But still, this is still it's funny because this was during the campaign. And so that explains why. Because if you look on Twitter, people do this all the time. Let's just read this anyway. So this is from October 8th, 2016, just before the election. Melania Trump is the wife of GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump, mother of young Barron Trump, and our country's potential next first lady. She's the first lady now. But before all of that, Melania Trump was a model, and during her modeling career, she posed in several nude photos. One of those photos, taken in 1995 when she was just 25 years old, was plastered across a Sunday cover of the New York Post. I'm changing the language just to fit that it's in the past. The image, which features Mrs. Trump's bare breasts censored with stars, is accompanied by the charming headline, "The Ogle Office." Okay, so that's from when she was 25 years old. Over the course of Donald Trump's campaign for the president, Melania Trump's past has been consistently used as ammunition against him by liberals and conservatives alike. In March of 2016, a conservative anti-Trump super PAC ran ads attempting to convince Mormons not to vote for him by trotting out nude photos Ms. Trump took in 2000 for British GQ. The ad features an image of Ms. Trump lying nude on a bed and read, "Meet Melania Trump, your next first lady, or you could support Ted Cruz." Oh, just looking back on this, I find great humor in it now. Just the article and the whole thing they tried to do and how effective it was. But it's not just Republicans who are guilty of this kind of rhetoric. And let me just put my own aside in here. I see it all the time. People who hate Trump constantly, especially on Twitter, put those pictures on Twitter and wherever they can, trying to shame Mrs. Trump. But it's not just Republicans who are guilty of this kind of rhetoric. People who would describe themselves as liberal have also taken shots at Melania's modeling career. They've used her nude shots to dismiss her as a dumb trophy wife and to compare her to the, quote, classy, end quote, current FLOTUS Michelle Obama. Can you imagine? Oh, this was a meme from the day, back in the day. Can you imagine Melania Trump as first lady? Oh, so hilarious. Please, she ain't even his first lady. Ha! Joke's on you! Ha ha! Joke's on you, lady. All right. And then they say, misogyny is misogyny. It manifests itself on both sides, as does the hypocrisy. In response to the Ted Cruz attack on his wife, Donald Trump tweeted an image meant to ridicule the appearance of Ms. Cruz as compared to the seemingly more beautiful Mrs. Trump. That's hilarious. See, see? Donald Trump chirps back at anyone who attacks him. Although Ted Cruz is of Cuban descent, so maybe he's just racist against Hispanics. No, Ted Cruz has been a pretty good supporter of the president lately. And responding to the New York Post's sensationalized cover of Melania Trump this week, Trump advisor Jason Miller told CNN on Sunday, "There's nothing to be embarrassed about. She's a beautiful woman." Well, good way to go. There you go. Why is Melania Trump being discussed by the media, by both liberal and conservative anti-Trumpers, and by her husband himself as if she is an object? Why is it that her former career and her looks are being used to attack her husband when his politics... Okay, this is the Huffington Post. His blatant racism and his dangerous fear-mongering rhetoric should really be all the material one needs to call him out. Okay, so They're saying this is sexist to do this to Melania Trump, and I'm not even going to read the rest. But this is the Huffington Post. Way back in the time machine, back in the 2016 election, that was actually defending Melania Trump. I'm curious as to recent articles on Melania Trump. Let me see if do they have a search function there? Let's see if they have any recent articles on Melania Trump. Search. Okay. That's 2016. 2016. Okay, they haven't really written about her. Oh, 2017. Okay. They kind of trash her on a regular. Okay. Okay, here's a 12-3. Melania Trump once mistook the Australian foreign minister for a politician's wife. Okay, so she made a mistake. She's not the president, nor is she a diplomat. So that happens. Okay, I'm looking through these headlines. Other than, Dan Savage. I fucking hate Melania Trump. Ooh, that's strong words. All right, whatever. I don't care. Does anyone care? Does anyone care what they think of Melania Trump? I certainly don't. If it was FTG, I would say FTG to all of these fuckers. Oh, snap! Cynical Lindsay. Funny, Hillary Clinton is not exactly Bill's first lady either. Cough, Monica Lewinsky. Cough. Yeah, not his first and certainly not his last either, huh? All right, let's get out of here. Hey, you heard about this? Remember a couple weeks ago, some paramedics were going into McDonald's, and apparently the people at McDonald's wouldn't serve them, thinking that they were cops. God, it's amazing. They said something like, "We don't serve your kind here," thinking they were police officers. So freaking lame. Well, McDonald's employee fired for refusing service to paramedics. We don't accept anyone with a badge. A McDonald's employee was terminated for refusing to serve two paramedics while mistaking them for police officers. This week, Anthony Quinn of Sunstar Paramedics wrote on Facebook that he had walked into the McDonald's in Madeira Beach in Florida to use the restroom, but was denied by the employee. According to a screenshot from ABC Action News, Quinn post read, an employee goes, "We don't accept officers in here." I tell her I'm not an officer. Then she says, "Anyone with a badge." Then says it to my partner as he walks in to order food. Says, "We don't serve your kind here." Just insane how people are. A corporate representative for McDonald's did not immediately respond to Yahoo's lifestyle request for comment. Casper's company, which owns the Madeira Beach location, tells Yahoo Lifestyle, "We are aware of the unfortunate situation that took place in one of our restaurants last night. We, like you, were upset and disappointed and took immediate action. The employee has been terminated. What occurred does not reflect the values of our brand, our franchise, or the love and admiration we have demonstrated consistently for our friends in law enforcement and first responders. We have reached out to offer our sincerest apology." The spokesperson told Yahoo Lifestyle that the store respects law enforcement. "We love, admire, and support them in any way we can. We do our best to be there for them when they need us, and they are always there for us." So, good. Jackass should be fired. There's no reason. First of all, how is an employee going to make that determination for McDonald's unless there was a specific policy. No, this was just some asshole employee who decided that they were gonna be woke and special and think they were doing something cool, and actually they deserve to be fired. I feel bad that they are so stupid. But sorry. Social Darwinism. Good for you. All right, moving on. AOC, now you also know that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her chief of staff resigned because he's under federal investigation. Looks like we have an answer for why Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff abruptly resigned on Friday. He's under federal investigation. According to the New York Post, Saikat Chakrabarti, I don't know, the architect behind AOC's meteoric rise from bartender to ball buster, is being investigated in connection with two political action committees he founded. The two PACs being probed, Brand New Congress and Justice Democrats, were both set up by Chakrabarti to support progressive candidates across the country. But they funneled more than $1 million in political donations into two private companies that Chakrabarti also incorporated and controlled, according to Federal Election Commission filings and a complaint filed in March with the regulatory agency. In 2016 and 2017, the PACs raised about $3.3 million, mostly from small donors. A third of the cash was transferred to two private companies whose names are similar to one of the PACs: Brand New Congress LLC, Brand New Campaign LLC. Federal campaign filings show, according to the New York Post. And as the Post notes, the PACs are required to adhere to stringent disclosure rules, while private companies Chakrabarti funneled money into are not. So, according to the complaint filed by Virginia government watchdog group, the National Legal and Policy Center, Chakrabarti's LLCs appear to have been specifically designed to circumvent federal reporting requirements. Imagine that. So anyway, Chakrabarti's in trouble, and actually the whole campaign's in trouble. That's campaign finance law violation, isn't it? Would you call that a campaign finance law violation? I certainly would. What the hell's going on with my microphone? All right, there you go. All right, got a couple more, and then we're gonna move on to Twitter trends. Oh man, this one I am scratching my head over this one. I cannot believe that this is even being considered. And y'all are gonna this is one of those facepalm things. But Michael Avenatti says he's 50-50 on running for president. Are you freaking... The dude's going to be... He needs to be 50-50 on whether or not he should be trying to help keep himself out of jail. Anyway, embattled celebrity lawyer Michael Avenatti is revisiting a potential 2020 presidential bid and told CNBC he is one of the few effective fighters in the Democratic Party. Never say never, he told CNBC Friday when asked if he still might run in 2020. The Dems need a non-traditional fighter. They have a lot of talent, but not a lot of fighters. Now, wait a minute. Okay, so apparently he must be out on bail. He had an interview on CNBC Friday? Really? You got to be kidding me. Avenatti said he put the odds of running at 50-50, and he will make a final decision in the next few months, CNBC reported Saturday. I don't think I need to make a final decision for a number of months. I have the name ID, and everyone knows I'm one of the few effective fighters that the Dems have, said Avenatti, who adopted the catchphrase "basta" or enough during his frequent attacks on President Donald Trump. Well, let's just say the dude has some cojones. Avenatti announced on December 4th, 2018, he would not run for president. He was considering joining the Democratic field and had received words of encouragement from journalists. Journalists like Brian Stelter. Oh, man. This is a Daily Caller. Usually they're pretty accurate, but dude, I have a hard time calling Brian Stelter a journalist anymore. He's a shill, a propagandist. He's all Trump all the time. But then again, CNN is all Trump all the time. It's kind of embarrassing that they don't seem to spend any time on any other news. They've got their talking points. You have to use racist within at least a 10 word proximity of the word Trump. So anyway, but he said at the time his family opposed a presidential bid. There's it's interesting. There he is with what do they call it? Horse face that Trump called her. I don't think she deserved that. She's suing him too. So good for her. Since then, federal prosecutors in New York and California indicted Avenatti on charges that he ripped off legal clients and attempted to extort others. Authorities arrested Avenatti on March 25th on charges he conspired to extort Nike out of $20 million. They have him on tape. And let's see. Avenatti allegedly threatened to go public with damaging information against the sports apparel company if he did not receive $20 million in walkaway money. Federal prosecutors in California accused Avenatti in an April 11th indictment of scamming a mentally ill paraplegic man out of a $4 million settlement stemming from a lawsuit against the Los Angeles County Jail. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. So the dude's paraplegic and he scammed him out of $4 million in theory, allegedly. Also, prosecutors indicted Avenatti on May 22nd on charges that he defrauded his most prominent client, Stormy Daniels, out of $300,000 in funds from a book advance. Daniels, a porn star, said she had an affair with Trump in 2006. So CPL, creepy porn lawyer, still might run for president if he can stay out of jail. I think there's also a chance, and I know there's a lot of people who say this. I seriously think there's a chance that Hillary Clinton will get back in the race too. I mean, anyone else kind of feel that? Anybody? You know what? She didn't have to do a whole lot. She has the name recognition, and Clintons are still a fundraising machine. Although I find it humorous that the Clinton Foundation is hardly bringing in anything anymore. But it's just just how it is. I honestly think Hillary Clinton's going to try to get in the race. She doesn't have to go to the debates. That's the thing. She can wait till after. Obviously she's not going to be in the first two, but I think she can wait until after the debates and still put a bid out. And I think it's hilarious that Michael Avenatti's thinking about it, but it's incredible. Who knows? All right, real quick, let's get a shill in because I have to do that. Hey, I'm making a commercial. I can just hit a button and do this, but just a reminder that the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Those of you who have already shared the stream through the little link down here, thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate that. If you see me put it out or if it's out on Twitter, please retweet, put it on Facebook, put it on your other social media. That's great. I appreciate it. People who do that. Also, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. There's a bunch of people and there's only 11 likes. And I know people come in and out, but hit the like button before you go. And then also, if you want to do super chats, we do those through Streamlabs, link down below. I do not have YouTube super chats, but I will read your super chats from the Streamlabs link. And I'm going to add something to that. If you ever have a question And I don't care what the question is. But if you ever have a question for me, that I'll do through Streamlabs Link, and I promise I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. So just there you go. All right. Let's see here. Now I've got to, let's see. We could do Twitter trends. I might save both of these last two articles for the end, just because they're kind of funny. Thank you, Marsupial Gamer, by the way, for retweeting the show out on your Twitter handle there. I appreciate that. Abel. Oh, let's see. Nope, that's something else. Never runs a hand. Push notes. I don't care. Whatever. Okay. All right. So thank you. I appreciate you guys who have been helping promote the show and getting our name out there. Now, Twitter trends. Oh God, there's another city trending. That doesn't mean. All right, hang on. Twitter trends today. Now, the second one just has me fuming, but you know what? That's just how it is these days. Okay. Trump misspoke today. And so when Trump misspeaks, that always trends. Or if he misspells something or whatever. Teleprompter Trump is trending. Okay, number one trending right now is Toledo. Because Trump misspoke, offered prayers for those who perished in Toledo. The Ohio shooting took place in Dayton, which is about 150 miles south of Toledo. Okay. Here's the CNN article. Okay, so this is just this is just 29 killed in U.S. At least 29 killed in U.S. weekend mass shootings. That's fascinating. That's wow. That's their headline. Here, I got to move this for you guys. That is I'll tell you why it's fascinating in a moment. That is an incredible headline from CNN. Now, I know I was staying in Twitter trends, but at least 29 killed in U.S. weekend mass shootings. So they're counting the mass shooting in El Paso and the shooting in Dayton. That's the total that they have. Let's see how they read this article, because I'll explain why I'm fascinated by that headline in a second. Oh, I see. Here's where in his remarks, Trump offered prayers for those who perished in Toledo. In his remarks about the mass shootings in Texas and Ohio this weekend, President Trump misidentified the city where one of the deadly attacks took place. Trump offered prayers for those who perished in Toledo. The Ohio shooting took place in Dayton, which is about 150 miles south of Toledo. The Texas shooting took place in El Paso, which is about 1,600. Well, who gives a fuck how far El Paso is from Toledo? Oh my God. Anyway. May God bless the memory of those who perished in Toledo, and may God protect them, Trump said. May God protect all those from Texas to Ohio. May God bless the victims and their families. May God bless America. Okay, so he misspoke. Oh, my God. Oh, here's interesting. Trump calls for instituting death penalty for hate crimes. Trump said during his White House statement that he has directed the Department of Justice to propose legislation ensuring that those who commit hate crimes and mass murders face the death penalty. He added that capital punishment in these cases should be delivered quickly, decisively, and without years of needless delay. More context, federal authorities are treating the El Paso mass shooting as a case of domestic terrorism. The U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Texas said Sunday the Justice Department is also seriously considering bringing federal hate crime and federal firearm charges, which carry a possible death penalty, Attorney John Bash said Sunday in a news conference. And that's, you know what, hey, Manny, we'll see you. Do me a favor, when you get a chance, put your link for your Twitch stream in my chat, and I'll make sure that we remind people when we get done here. Maddie's going to be talking about the shootings today, and she's she's still kind of in YouTube jail, so she's been doing her streams on Twitch. So I certainly encourage you guys to do that. I'm going to be here for about 20 more minutes, and so she'll be talking about that on Twitch. All right, you know what, hate crimes is too subjective, but you know what, for mass shootings like this, sure, that's fine. Bring the death penalty, especially in cases where it's unambiguous as to who did the shooting. That's fine. Also, Trump's described attacks as a domestic terrorism. President Trump called the weekend shooting attacks domestic terrorism, adding that he's called on the FBI to devote further resources to preventing further attacks. He identified the internet and social media as areas for reform. We have asked the FBI to identify all further resources they need to investigate and disrupt hate crimes and domestic terrorism. Whatever they need, we must recognize that the internet has provided a dangerous avenue to radicalize, disturb minds, and perform demented acts, Trump said. We must shine a light on the dark recesses of the internet and stop mass murders before they start. That also concerns me. I've never been on 8chan or 4chan. I maybe if the FBI monitors places like that where they might have places, but I don't know. Oh no! And he cites gruesome and grisly video games in response to mass shooting. Donald Trump, stop it! President Trump said video games that celebrate violence need to be addressed while responding to 2 mass shootings that happened over the weekend. No. Yeah. Forever, we've had movies that depict violence. We've had music that depicts violence. It's not the video games. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the Ritalin that we put too many people on. Maybe it's all kinds of other things. Maybe it's the fact that we demonize certain factions of our society constantly. And, I'm sure that the self-esteem and the suicide rate in that particular demographics is going up too. Maybe there's some kind of a pattern on how we treat people. Good God. I can't read any more of this crap. Anyway, so that's trending. Toledo. Okay, so he misspoke. Jesus Christ. 57 states. Number 2 trending is, oh, lovely, white supremacist in chief. Now, I'm sure people are pushing back against this a little bit. Liberals say okay, so this is from someone named Derek Schwartz. Liberals say the president incites hatred and violence, but have no problem with hashtags like this, white supremacist in chief. Yeah, doesn't that promote hatred and violence? Not only is it untrue, but it is dangerous. What do you think this leads to? Yeah, it leads to more violence. Miss Pinky Thoughts. What? Bad idea. There are 2 very big problems that haven't been solved after decades of trying. Because Republicans, Trump knows how to pump up his base with racism. He has no interest in solving real problems. He's replying to Geraldo Rivera. Bad idea to bundle immigration reform with gun control. It reduces important embrace of an urgent and necessary move to curb gun violence to mere politics. No immigrants slaughtered anyone this weekend. Get gun control done, then move on to other issues without the name calling. So this guy's blaming Republicans, not on the immigration problem. They shouldn't be bundled. You're right. Geraldo's actually right here because the immigration reform needs to be done, period. And gun control, would you say, I laugh because people like to use the buzzword, well, we need some gun safety laws. That means their version of gun safety laws is taking guns away from people. Now, there's no evidence that taking certain types of weapons away from people does anything. They promote this. I forgot. So what I was getting on CNN. Let's go back a second. Let's go back because when this CNN report, Trump mistakenly refers to Toledo. Where the hell's the CNN report? It was at the top. It should be at the top. He accidentally says, he accidentally said Toledo. Okay, he misspoke. So everyone's chirping at him for that. Oh, fuck. Michael Avenatti. It's too much to ask that we have a president who can get the name of the city that just suffered a massacre right. It's not Toledo. It's Dayton. This guy's a fucking embarrassment. Yeah. I want the CNN article because... Okay, here we're back. So let's get back to this. So CNN says at least 29 killed in U.S. weekend mass shootings. So notice 29, that's the total between El Paso and Toledo, aka Dayton. However, there were a lot of other shootings this week. In fact, there was another mass shooting in Chicago where 9 people were. Was it 9 people? I don't remember how many were killed. But over the weekend, 52 people were shot in Chicago. Now, I hate to go to Chicago. Everyone always talks about, well, there was this many shootings in Chicago. And then the person who you're talking to says, well, that's racist. Why do you say Chicago? It's because there's so many black people in Chicago. Blah, 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 blah. Well, if that's where people are dying, yeah, that's the city I'm going to reference. But you can go to any city in the country and talk about the... Zombie Teddy. I just laughed what you just typed. You can go to St. Louis. You can go to New York City. You can go to L.A. You can go to Baltimore. I mean, in fact, I wonder, there's a dude, Akintunde Nation or something like that, was talking about all the other people killed. But they're only going to talk about the 2. First of all, the one where one is has a manifesto, right? Because the white nationalists are everywhere. When in fact, percentage of people murdered in the United States, that's a man bites dog story. But it's very juicy and it fits the perfect agenda for Donald Trump. But it's almost like, the reason I was very frustrated with the Black Lives Matter movement, for example, is because the Black Lives Matter movement only cared about the black lives that were killed by police. Pretty rare occurrence, especially the ones that are unjustified. Extremely rare. Or if it was carried out by a white person. And yet, the leading cause of death for young men ages, what was it? I think it was 15 to 35 or something like that. The leading cause of death is murder. And 90% of the people who are murdered by someone of their own race, particularly in the black community. So it only matters so this headline here, 29 killed. Because the one was murdered by a white dude in a Walmart in a mass shooting. who had a manifesto that, they could blame on Trump. Everyone's blaming Trump for that one. Now, at first, the one in Dayton was blamed on Trump too, until they figured out that, whoops, first of all, the dude in Texas is a Democrat too. They were looking up his stuff and it said Democrat. Now, somebody was furiously going around trying to change some of the profiles in some places, and they have a picture of the profile at 4:08 where it said he was a Democrat, and then at like 4:25 it was suddenly changed to him being a Republican, member of the NRA, and a follower of QAnon, and all this other bullshit there. So somebody went in and changed his profile on one of these, search sites where it listed him as a Democrat. And then the guy in Ohio, he's full on lefty AOC fan, praised the guy who did the bombing out in Washington, or tried to do firebomb the ICE facility, fan of Elizabeth Warren. I mean, full on leftist Democrat that did the one in Toledo, aka Dayton. So now they're not so interested in that one as much anymore because it doesn't necessarily fit their narrative. But also the murders in all these other cities that happen every weekend in the summers, you're never going to hear about them because the perpetrators don't match the narrative. They can't blame those. They can't point a finger and say, "Oh, this is your fault, President Trump. Your rhetoric did this." Nah. And guess what? In the end of the year, when there's 2,000 murders across the United States, or even more than that, 10,000. There's 10,000 murders across the United States, and you can only point to 30 or 40 people who are killed in these white supremacist mass shootings, supposedly things. That doesn't add up to the biggest part of the problem. You want to ban, you got the gun control Twitter, and the gun control versus gun rights Twitter is poisonous is too. And I support your right to own guns. But the back and forth on Twitter this weekend just pissed me off. Just couldn't stand it. I put up some flowers on Twitter this weekend. I couldn't stand it. I wrote 100 tweets replying to people and probably deleted every one of them. Just maddening. But yeah, so what? At least 29 killed in weekend mass shooting. Is that you're a news organization? You probably could tell us exactly how many murders there were, or attempted murders, or people shot in plenty of the major cities where people get shot every weekend. Not a man bites dog story this makes national news. This guy with his little tired ass manifesto plastered all over the news, acting like this is something that happens every damn day. And then someone on one of the TV shows was saying, "Well, yeah, there's a mass shooting every day," because according to crime statistics, at least the FBI, a mass shooting is considered anytime there's more than 2 people shot in an incident. So if there's 3 people shot on the weekend in Chicago or St. Louis or Baltimore, they call that a mass shooting, but it doesn't get any coverage because it's not the right kind of mass shooting. It's a specific kind of mass shooting that gets publicized on CNN or MSNBC or in the national news. That makes national news. Now, this is a tragic event, and I'm saying this should have been national news, I guess. The one in Ohio should have been national news, I guess. I bet if they would have known who the assailant was and knew anything about him, it wouldn't have been national news, though. It made national news because of the juxtaposition to the incident in El Paso and Jake Tapper. Let me show you what Jake Tapper pissed me off to no end. I might not even get to Twitter trends because I'm in Twitter trends right now. Jake Tapper. Hang on. Jake Tapper. So, during this, the shooting in Ohio was fresh news. I mean, you really didn't know a whole hell of a lot about it. Okay. And Jake Tapper, who I used to respect. I used to have a lot of respect for Jake Tapper. I thought even though his politics you knew his politics, Jake Tapper would ask tough questions to anybody. And he kind of still does. But Jake Tapper tweets this nonsense. Dayton Deputy Police Chief just read the names and demographics of the 9 victims killed. 6 of the 9 killed were African American. Now, why do you think Jake Tapper made a point to mention that 6 of the 9 killed were African American when they didn't really know any details about the shooter? Because Jake Tapper decided in advance that the shooter was another white supremacist shooting, like in El Paso. White supremacists. Okay? So Jake decided to fan the flames by telling you how many of yes, they were black victims. This guy. And so everyone following this, except now, then down here he says one of the victims was the killer's sister, Megan Betts, 22. Correction. Assistant Chief of Police, whatever. But okay, yeah, that's someone replying to him. Yeah, it's now this person, if the shooter had been a minority, Trump would already be calling for a public hanging on Pennsylvania Avenue. Bullshit. There have been others. Shut the fuck up. Now, here's a good point. Whether it was your intention or not, this tweet implies and will be taken as implying the shooting was a racially motivated attack. But we've also just found out the shooter's sister was one of the people shot and killed, which would be evidence against that hypothesis. Well, some people started saying, well, maybe her sister was dating someone black and this guy was a racist who went around to shooting black people. Blah, 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 blah. Here's a great point. It's sad the number of African Americans who are killed in Chicago, Baltimore, and many other cities across the country, but you only feel the need to point it out when it's at the hands of a white person. That's pretty much it. And do you think that sows racial division at all? You're trying to sow some racial division there, Jake Tapper? Is that what you're doing? Are you just presenting the facts? No, and I'm telling you, he don't care. Because right now it fits the narrative that CNN, the entire network, wants to talk about race and call Trump a racist. Which you can if you have opinion that Trump's a racist, whatever. I personally don't think Trump is a racist. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think a racist isn't going to try to help people of other races, which Trump does. A racist isn't going to do that. Okay? And I think Ilhan Omar illustrated this best during her little kerfluffle with the president when she said, if a Somali person were around Trump wearing a MAGA hat, he wouldn't have any problem with that Somali person. Well, that's profound. So then that means it isn't about your race, is it, Ilhan Omar? If he would accept a Trump supporter who's Somali, isn't that what you're saying? That, then it must not be about race if you believe that. Trump is critical of people who take shots at him. Morning Joe and Micah. Weepy face, or what someone calls them, What are the? Oh, someone has the greatest nickname for those two. Beaker and Leaker. Because he kind of looks like Beaker from the Muppets, and her face was leaking one time, or that's what Trump said something about it. Beaker and Leaker. Oh my gosh. So anyway, just more, just insane BS from the powers, the fourth estate, the powers that be. All right, I got to close this up. Let's just check to see what else is trending. Everything on Twitter today has to do something with Trump. I mean, other than Mondays. Teleprompter Trump. Yeah, president, no matter how hard he tries, no matter how many crafted teleprompter speeches he gives, is incapable of actually bringing us together. Okay, fuck off, whatever. Joe Walsh. It's funny because Joe Walsh is a conservative, but he's a never Trumper. He's a never Trumper hater. So he's basically gone completely on to the left. Laura Walker, same thing. I like these two people when they are just talking about things that have nothing to do with Trump. But whatever. There may be some of you who think teleprompter Trump is the real Trump. Bless your pointy little windsock heads. Yeah, Laura, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, Trump, he misspoke. Whatever. All right, Bowling Green. Can we have a Monday morning? Let's do Monday. I'm going to do a couple of these and then I'm going to quit. Monday morning, President Trump has instructed the Department of Justice to propose legislation for those who commit hate crimes and mass murders to receive the death penalty. Do you agree with the proposed legislation? I say for mass murder. Hate crimes, subjective. Oh, we're supposed to. I'm sorry. Murder is murder. If you do mass murders, I think sure, why not? Okay, so oh God, this editorial. Trump is the match, and they're all his followers are the bombs. Fuck off. I'm y'all gonna piss me off into voting for Donald Trump. I'm just telling you right now. Now this moron. Monday morning, Trump is the white supremacist in chief, and here are his battle minions. White males have a lot to make up for our nation. This is just 1 week in the life of our fascist takeover. Oh, wait a minute. There's one thing that these guys, all three, also have in common. All three are Democrats. Oh, no. And this guy's a leftist. I'm just out there, leftist, Green New Deal, whatever. This guy from El Paso, in his manifesto, notice all the stuff about environmentalism and all that other shit. Yeah, he had some Trump stuff in his thing too, but I don't know. And I don't know about the Gilroy shooter. They haven't, notice they haven't talked a whole lot about the Gilroy shooter. I wonder why you ever wonder, a lot of times all of a sudden they'll talk about this terrible mass event. And I hate that, they are terrible events, and they'll find the shooter and then all of a sudden, poof, radio silence on any information about the shooter. Like notice the guy from El Paso, we know everything about this dude. We know about his manifesto. We know where he lives, where in high school, blah, 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 blah. And the only reason we know about the Dayton guy is because internet sleuths have done that. And right-leaning outlets have done that, and they found it before they could bury it. But we're not talking about him as much already. I noticed it you already noticed it, that they're not talking about him as much. All right, I got to be done. Let me get here. Let's get there. Monday morning, I can't do it. Anything on here that I want. Oh, Bowling Green. I think Bowling Green is trending because, okay, people are just made a joke. Like Toledo, like Bowling Green, is very important to the Trump narrative. Survivors of the Bowling Green massacre send their thoughts and prayers to Toledo. Oh my God. Yeah, it's See you later, T.I. Freighter. Thank you for being here. Hi, Check Your Logic. Good morning. Zombie Teddy, I didn't say hello. Hi, all you need. And Sarah, hello, darling. All right. Just a reminder, it is Lady Boomer's birthday. If you want to send a Lady Boomer a birthday message, send it to my Twitter at Dawg Knight, at Dawg Knight, because I can't remember what her Twitter handle is. I know she has one, but I can't remember what it is. We're going to change all her things to Lady Boomer, though. We're going to change. She has a YouTube channel. It only has one video on it. It's about me. But we're going to change her YouTube handle to Lady Boomer. We're going to change her Twitter to Lady Boomer because it's just a funny handle. So, immigration, number 10. Trump demands immigration reform in wake of terror attack. Yeah, he could have done that separately. David Urban, don't know who that is. Candace Keller, Ohio GOP lawmaker, blames mass shooting on trans people. What? Okay, I'm just FTG. She's stupid too. Okay, there are plenty of people who in the GOP who are stupid, and if she said that, she's stupid. Charlottesville lie. The Charlottesville lie is trending. Oh goodness, really? Oh, because PragerU did a thing about the Charlottesville lie. Did President Trump's call neo-Nazis very fine people following the Charlottesville riots in August 2017? Well, we know he didn't. We know that he separated those out, but everyone tells the lie over and over. Now, I'm sure that it's trending because some people, there's there. The trending Charlottesville lie is a disinformation campaign claiming that Trump did not say there were very fine people on either side. You fucking morons. If you listen to what he said, he was very specific about who was shitheads and who he was talking about when there were very fine. He did the words very fine people on both sides. He actually said that. He was very specific about who he was talking about. So, you know what? It's not a disinformation campaign. The disinformation campaign is that he said that the neo-Nazis were very fine people. That is the disinformation campaign. Oh, it's very funny how the Charlottesville lie video has actual proof and people are saying it's fake. People need to be more open and willing to accept new evidence instead of just hating someone and never actually doing any research. Wait till the end. He clearly condemns. Yes, he did. Someone else, Tim Wise. Oh, this guy's a Trump-hating prick. And I don't mean just because of the Trump hating. The fact that people buy the Charlottesville lie BS, which claims Trump wasn't talking about Nazis when he said there were good people on both sides. Video evidence, sir. I'm going to blow a freaking gasket. I'm going to blow a gasket. Is evidence that the right is nothing but liars and apologists now. I wonder if anyone's... Oh my God, this guy went... Okay, he did 4. Why wouldn't you publicly denounce what you saw? Not one participant on that side ever did that if you were just there to defend the Lee statue. Putting aside the politics... Because they were on different days, you dumbass! Holy shit, they were 2 different rallies. Tim, did you pay attention to what happened in that weekend? The dickheads with the torches came out on Friday night and were doing the Jews. Those fuckers. The actual rally was supposed to be around the statue coming down. So there were people there who were only there for the statue. Some of the dickheads were there. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. If you were there to defend the Lee statue, putting aside the politics of that, and saw people with swastikas chanting and racist chants, that was a different day. Oh my God. And then make a point publicly about how you've been duped. No. Anyway, it's... The Charlottesville lie is about what Trump said, though. Okay? That's what... Exactly. No need to say good people to describe a Nazi march that killed a woman. He didn't. You fucking idiots. He said there were innocent bystanders that weren't part of that event. There were innocent people on both sides that were there for different reasons. And he was very, very specific about it. Hi, Tim. I debunked the Charlottesville lie in this thread. Charlottesville lie is a lie. Trump did call racist tiki torch marchers fine people. Receipts. Okay, let's see what he said.
Treated white nationalists unfairly.
So had people that were very fine people on both sides, and the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just didn't understand what you were saying. You were saying the press has treated white nationalists unfairly? No. I just didn't understand what you were saying.
No. There were people in that rally, and I looked the night before. If you look, they were people protesting very quietly the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. You take a look the night before, they were there to protest the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee.
He had it backwards. Oh my God! I can't do it. I can't do it. Yes, Scott Adams actually is the one who is most articulate on this thing. Anyway, oh my God! You know what? It's funny because people listen to this. They've been told this over and over so many times that they insist it's the truth, and you can. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, nice. And the people, or should I say Russian bots. Oh, Russian bots are promoting this. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh, gee, with the Charlottesville lie trending, I think I should remind you that all of PragerU's biggest donors are the Wilkes brothers, the billionaire fracking executives. Make that of what you will. So, what the fuck's that mean? What does that mean? Oh my God, my head's gonna explode. I'm gonna explode. God damn it. Tom Brokaw. Anything else in here? Not Toledo, Lord Christ, blah blah blah. Alex Luce announces he's being released from the raid. It's getting too hard. Let's finish. I'm done. I'm done with Twitter trends. I can't do it. Let's go to my last story. This was a funny story. How hot is the real estate market? This St. Pete's listing is on fire. And that's what I feel like the whole Twitter is. It's just it's a house on fire. The whole country right now is a house on fire. And we better find some goddamn fire department to put it out. I don't know who it's going to be. I know it's not going to be the president because people hate him too much. They're just never going to accept him. I don't know what's going to be. We need to have an epiphany as a nation. I'm just telling you. But in this case, for less than $100,000, you can own this home in St. Petersburg. There's just one twist. The photo of the home in the real estate listing shows the house on fire. Yes, the house on the property was heavily damaged in a fire. The description says the house has been the city has ordered that the house be demolished, but the listing continues in capital letters. The location is in a very popular area. So basically you're buying a lot for $100,000 in this place, Florida, but you're going to have to tear down the house yourself. Incredible. All right, that's a silly one. And here's the last one. Let's have a nice story to finish out. Woman in line at grocery store pays for a week's worth of meals for foster care kids. Now, this is such a nice story. A stranger paid the grocery bill for a foster care employee at the H-E-B in Texas after the woman's check could not be accepted by the cashier. Reagan Gamble, an employee with the Contra Valley Home for Girls and Children's Emergency Shelter, was in line with two teenage girls from the shelter when she learned her check had an error and could not be accepted by the store. There was a mistake made on the check, Gamble told San Angelino Standard Times. We had shopped about an hour to get enough groceries to feed the children a week's worth of meals they would help prepare. That's when the customer behind Gamble handed the cashier a debit card and insisted she would pay for the $160 bill. The woman told Gamble that she had been in a similar situation herself and was happy to help the foster care organization. The kind gesture left an impression on the two girls who watched as a stranger paid for their groceries. The kids were shocked, Gamble said. One later said that she had never seen someone do that before. We talked about it after leaving HEB. Gamble said both teens who had been taken out of abusive situations at home began discussing ways they could repay the stranger's kindness by doing something nice for others in return. Next time we go somewhere, if we see someone struggling with groceries, we can help load the car and put up the basket. The girls also talked about paying for someone's drink at Sonic, she said. So what a sweet story. I love it when I love stories like that. That's so nice. My wife does that every once in a while. If there's someone, a senior citizen or whatever she sees eating alone in a restaurant or something, she'll buy their meal. Or a couple or whatever, an old couple, or a veteran or a police officer. She does it all the time. She buys meals for people or sometimes pay for groceries. She got burned on it once, though, because a guy was in front of her line, an old guy, and he had about he had 3 items on there, and so my wife offered to pay for it, and didn't realize the woman behind her was with that guy who also had a cart full of the other groceries because she went back to go find something else, and but my wife ended up paying for that too. But whatever, it was cute. Anyway, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I spent the whole time just babbling through stories and tweets and crap, and my head's about to explode, so I gotta go. But thank you so much for being here. I am here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT for people who use GMT, but not for much longer because that daylight. When does that daylight savings time thing happen? So that's October, probably late in October, right? I think it's in October. Anyway, I'll have to fix the GMT thing. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already done so, or if you have to watch the rest of the show later, please hit the share button and share it out on social media. Also, if you haven't done it already, why haven't you hit the like button yet? That's what I'm trying to figure out. No, you haven't. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the damn like button. Somebody has it. I guarantee somebody has it. So hit the like button, and we do donations and super chats through Streamlabs. Link in the chat down below for future reference. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. This is so much fun sometimes, and I'm trying to get more into the chat. But the email. What's the email? Email. First of all, my Twitter handle. If you want to wish Lady Boomer happy birthday, it's right there. Where is it? Right here. At Dawg Knight. I do it on Minds, Gab, and Twitter. But for email, if you take that at and move it over here where you can't see it right now, put the at the end of Dawg Knight and just throw a gmail.com at the end, and that's the Gmail. So if you want to send Lady Boomer a birthday wish, do that on either Twitter or on my email. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you coming by, and thanks for hanging out in the chat. I hope you enjoyed the day. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.